perfect mess is my perfect mess. Perfect mess is my perfect mess.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Perfect Mess Podcast. I'm your host, Ray Molina, and this is episode 54. Let's talk about it. All right? This one is called Shut It or Show It. So let's get right into it. You know, I got online the other day, and I saw people getting into a really big debate on one of the social media platforms, and it was talking about they don't like when people are videotaping doing good deeds for people. Like feeding the homeless, like taking them to get blankets or getting them jackets or doing things of that nature. Just helping random people. People are really upset about that. People paying it forward and doing stuff like that. A lot of people, and I would probably say on this particular post that I saw, a good probably 70% of the people were saying, yeah, you should keep that to yourself. You shouldn't show that. You're just trying to get clout, or you're just trying to get props for doing something. If you really cared about that, you wouldn't show that you're doing these things because it just doesn't. You're trying to show everybody that you're a good person, but you're probably not. You're probably just looking for attention. Now, here's the thing, man. I have a very strong opinion about this, and I wanted to jump on and I wanted to tell you guys how I feel about this, because this came up with regards to me in 2020, because I do this a lot. I do a lot of paying it forward, where you go, where you're in the drive through and people are coming through getting food, and then every now and then you see somebody and you're just like, you know what, man, I had a good week at work, or I feel good, I'm doing good. I wanna bless somebody, and I'll say, hey, I'll pay for the person in the back, or I'll go and drop off clothes. I'll go through my closet, my drawers, and then I'll get rid of stuff and I'll go drop it off and things of that nature. And I had a few people saying, why do you always show stuff like that? I'm not, they were trying to be nice. They're like, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but I'm wondering, why do you show that? Because, stuff like that should be done in silence. Now, hear me out, okay? Because if you are one of these people, I hear you, okay? And there are, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there who do stuff for clout. Isn't that, I hate that word. That's another word that I hate. All right. There are a lot of people that do stuff for that nowadays, though. Everything. People do all kinds of stuff online to get attention. And this is one of them. There are people out there that do that. Okay. I'm not one of them. If you follow me, I've been doing this for years. This is just something that I've done. And if you are somebody who has been following me from music, and let's just say you're somebody who was back in like 99, 2000, when I was heavy into music, that every year I did a toy drive. I did things like that where I would get toys gathered from, fans and from people in the local area, and I would go and deliver them to kids, or I would deliver them to our local fire department, all that stuff. I have been doing this for well over 20 years. This is nothing new to me. So when I tell you I'm not one of those people looking for clout. This is before there was Twitter, before there was Facebook, before there was even MySpace. All of those, I'm probably dating myself right now, but none of these platforms existed. TikTok, Instagram, none of them, Snapchat. So I was doing this prior to that. So I have a very strong opinion about that, and I want to share that with you guys right now. If you go back and think about all the things that are going on these days, right? You start thinking about the pandemic, okay? You start thinking about how it has changed people, how it has made people stay home. It has made people afraid to go out in public. It has made people afraid to congregate with each other. It's really just changed a lot of people. And I think personally for forever, some people are changed forever. They're never going to be the person that they were because they have just been terrified, and rightfully so. If you watch the news all the time, you're going to get scared. Because what does the news do? They give you every piece of bad news. Why? It's what sucks people in. All right. They know that if they drop you a headline, about something, about a scare, and they say more news at 11, if you're up and it's 10:45, you're going to stay up another 15, 20 minutes because you want to see what that headline's about. It is a scare tactic. Okay. I'm not saying that not all of these stories are real, but for the most part, they share these things because they know it's going to suck you in. It's going to reel you in to want to watch it, okay? Now, these types of things have scared people, especially during this pandemic. So a lot of people are seeing these things online. They're seeing them on the news, and they're just getting fed a bunch of negativity. A lot of the things that we are seeing today are clickbait, okay? Whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. A lot of stuff is clickbait because drama sells, blood sells, all of it. Everything that you see, sex sells. Whatever it is, anything that is provocative is gonna get you to click on it, and that's what they're working on. Okay, so these are a bunch of things that we see online regularly. Okay, these are the things that people push regularly. This is a big debate. Okay, and if you're listening to this and you're hearing the tone of my voice, you know that my opinion is gonna be to show it. Okay, so I'm gonna state that real quick. I'm not about shutting my mouth and not showing anything. I want to show when I do these things, and I'm going to tell you why you should be proud to show when you do a good deed, to show the world, okay? I'm going to tell you why. Let me go over a bunch of things that are being shown to all of us, our children, us, people out there in the world every day, and we're so accustomed to seeing it that we don't even think about it, okay? Listen to this. We are shown fights on social media all the time, okay? Don't get me wrong. I have fallen victim to this. I'm human. I see a fight. It looks kind of crazy. I have been sucked in plenty of times where I watch it, and I'm kind of blown away at how wild people get, all right? We are shown fights all the time, especially during this pandemic. There have been so many fights that people videotape and put them online, and guess what? Millions of views, millions of shares, and we all see it, right? There have been killings, okay? One of the most recent ones that upset me that was online was the one of young Dolph, okay? Someone had put up a video on TikTok and half of his body was hanging out of a window. And did TikTok take it down? No, they did not. They left it up, okay? Plenty of people were commenting on the video saying that they reported it, and TikTok said it didn't violate any of their rules. This is a dead body of someone famous. It doesn't even have to be a famous person. It could be anybody. It could be your son. It could be your wife. It could be whoever. There was a dead body hanging out of a window, and it didn't violate their policies. But if you know, they take down stuff that is what they consider fact-checked and misleading. They'll take that stuff down. Do you see what I'm getting at? This is what we're seeing every day, all right? Pranks are a big one, okay? We've got a lot of people doing pranks now. I mean, you guys all know, look, a lot of these guys are funny. I have a sense of humor. I think a lot of these guys are funny, and I think a lot of them are idiots too, and some of them are going to get themselves in some serious trouble, and I've watched videos where they've gotten caught off guard as well. I dig the stuff. There's some that I think, but pranks are pushed all the time. Sometimes they go too far, and these guys get hurt. Whatever it is, but these pranks are a normal thing that we see online all day, okay? So that's the third one. Body parts. You and I know if you're on Instagram or TikTok, everybody's showing body parts now, okay? Ladies, I'm not trying to go in on you, but I'm going to go in on you. You guys know you don't even have to have a talent, okay? You don't have to be a makeup artist. You don't have to be a model. You don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to have any talent. If you have a decent body and you wear something provocative and you pose and you do certain things, or you go to the gym, you lift a couple of light weights, but you do it at an angle, you're going to get attention. And next thing you know, your follower count's going to go crazy. Your shares are going to go crazy. Your comments are going to go crazy. Your video numbers are going to go nuts. All right? It happens. You know it. I know it. I've seen videos and I've seen pictures of girls and I'm like, wow, she's beautiful. Then you go and I typically go to their profile to see what they do, and usually it says influencer. But everybody's an influencer these days, apparently. You know what I'm saying? So this is pushed and we see this all day, and this is normal. By now we're used to seeing that. We know that most women who will show their body, they will get a following. There are men who are cut up and gym addicts and whatnot too. Their followers are big, but we all know it is not as big as women, okay? The next one, riots. Remember when all the riots were going on? That was the thing on TV and social media. We've seen them every day, okay? Every day. Blowing stuff up, lighting things on fire, fights, throwing stuff at the cops shooting rubber bullets at people. People just shared that all day, fed it down our throats. Everybody was a reporter, okay? Yes, you. Someone is listening right now who was at a damn riot or a rally and a big old riot broke out, and you videotaped it, and you did what? You got online and you shared it because why? You knew it was going to get a bunch of attention and people were going to come to your profile. That happens regularly. All through the pandemic that was happening, and even before the pandemic, but it was worse during the pandemic. Okay? We all seen this video footage of riots and fights and all that stuff going on. That's the other one. Same thing, protests. Any type of protest that we see gets attention. We see people with their flags. We see people throwing stuff. We see chanting. We see marching. We see everything. Protest, protest, protest. It's a big thing we see online right now. And they push it. And it gets what? Views. All kinds of views. Okay? The pandemic. Speaking of the pandemic. Anything that has to do with the pandemic, people share it. Gets views. Well, here's the other thing about the pandemic stuff. Now, if you are not sharing the correct view or the view that is valued by the fact checkers, they either block you, they ban you, or they put a fact check note on there and your video or your photo doesn't get as many views. But if you are on the correct side of the information that you're sharing, meaning that they agree with you with whatever it is you're sharing with regards to the pandemic, your post will blow up. People will share it, people will see it, and it blows up. We've been seeing that the entire last 2 years. This is going into the third year, all right? Hospitals, anything with the hospitals. You see people going in, you see people sick, you see people lining up, you see tents, you see shots, you see people sick, you see people begging to get in the hospital. You see people saying there's not enough beds, you see people doing interviews, you see nurses saying we want our jobs back, you see doctors saying this, I'm telling you, anything with the hospitals right now during the pandemic, all of it is being pushed online. Video footage, photos, everything. It's really big. Okay? Are you starting to get the theme here of everything that I'm telling you? Is there anything positive so far that I've been telling you that we are sharing online that is getting attention? Is there anything positive about that? Hold that thought. Hopelessness. Anything that shows hopelessness, that shows pain, that shows anything like that gets views. It gets shared. Because why? We want to know why. Why are they hurt? What's going on? What happened? Because human beings are nosy. It's natural. We are nosy. We want to know the backstory. Okay? Next one, politics. Big one, right? I'm a big one. If you follow me, you listen to my podcast on Instagram, I do often talk about politics, especially when the race was going on. Politics are big. Whether you're left, right, Democrat, Republican, or in between, whatever it is, it's big and it gets attention. And I think we all know politics, for the most part, is never positive. It always goes sideways, okay? Money, jewelry, cars, houses, jets, all that. You name it, all of that stuff gets shared online. Why? Because people are infatuated with all these things. How did you get that much money? How did you get that house, that jewelry, the cars, the houses, the jets? How did you get all that? You follow them. Why? Because maybe you can find out how that person got that, and you're envious. It's just a way to twist you and make you feel like you are not up to par. All these things get a lot of views. Listen to all of that. If you need to rewind this list of everything that I just said, do that. Or I'll just go down again. Fights, killings, pranks, flashing body parts, riots, protests, the pandemic, hospitals, hopelessness, pain, politics, money, jewelry, cars, houses, jets. Overall, people doing bad or being deaf to the state of our country right now. It all gets shown all day, every day, on every platform we are on, including our TVs. And guess what? When your device isn't around, we talk about it. Hey, did you see that? Or did you hear about this? Or did you? All day. I'm going to tell you why I personally show when I do something and I give back. I do it because everything that I just listed is normal. And it shouldn't be. I do it because I want to show something positive. Because I want to show that there are people that aren't doing all those things that I just listed, and they are doing something great. Showing you that there are people who give a damn. That there are people doing stuff that needs more attention. Because maybe, just maybe, it will encourage you to get out there and do the same. This topic came up for me because I went to a gas station last night. And I had my sons with me, and I was getting gas. And I was taking them to their mom's house, but we stopped to get gas. And there was a homeless guy laying on the floor up against the wall by the gas station. He had nothing on. He just had his shirt, his pants, he was in some socks, and he had a blanket on him. A thin one, and it's cold out here right now. I went into the store to pay for my gas. And I asked the guy, because I saw beanies hanging there, and I asked him if he had something like a beanie that was for like $5 or whatever. And he said, no, they're all like $25. I said, all right. And when I said that, I remembered I had 2 beanies in my car because I keep beanies in there when I go to work out. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to give him one of my beanies. So I went to the car. I grabbed one of my beanies. I walked over to the guy, and he looked up at me. He was laying down. I go, hey, buddy, you need a beanie? Are you cold? He sat up with a smile. He goes, yeah, it's cold. And I said, here you go. I go, sit up and put it on you. And I put the beanie on him. And then he said, thank you so much, man. I said, hey, it's okay, man. God bless you. I said, be careful out here. He laid back down, and I walked away. And my kids said, that was one of your favorite beanies, because they know I wear that beanie a lot. I said, yeah, but I think he needs it more than I do. This came up to me because I noticed a couple people watch me. And I often wonder, like, what are these people thinking? You know, because sometimes people are like, why are you helping these people? You know, why are you giving them money? Why are you this? Why are you that? They're grown people. They should go get a job, or they're in their position because they're making bad decisions. That might be true. Okay. That might be true for some of them, but not all of them. Okay. Not all of them. And it inspired me to want to come on here and do an episode where I speak about this, because I know that there is someone out there who did something and you got ridiculed because you shared it online, because you told people about it, because you shared a photo of someone that you gave a blanket to, that you gave food to, that you took care of. And someone tried to say, bro, why don't you do that and not tell nobody? Why are you trying to get attention? I know somebody's listening who went through that, okay? I've went through it. Not too many people say anything to me like that anymore because they know this is something that I do. If this is you, and you've gone through something like this, listen to me. If you're giving back, show it. If you're paying it forward, show it. If you're feeding the homeless, show it. If you're helping someone who is stranded, broke down in a car or something, show it. If you're defending someone who can't defend themselves, show it. If you're praying for someone who is broken, show it. If you're giving someone food and clothing, show it. Show it more and be proud of it. I am so sick and tired of it being okay to share everything that I listed in that list prior to this. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of everybody being okay with seeing all that madness online and having the nerve to say something to someone who shared something positive. I want you to understand something. When you do these things and you do it tastefully, and I stress tastefully because there are people out there who do stuff and you can tell they want attention. But when you do it tastefully, you inspire people. You make people understand and realize that there are good people out there still. There are people trying to leave this world a better place than it was when they got here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do not be ashamed. Do not let these people make you feel bad. Whether it be your friends, family, loved ones, or complete strangers online. Continue to give back when you can. Continue to pay it forward. Continue to pray for people. Continue to help people. Continue to do what you feel in your heart. Guys, listen to me. We are so traumatized by all the BS that's online right now. You may not realize it, but we are all traumatized because all we do is see this negative BS all day. I know because I have a 10 and a 12-year-old, soon to be a 13 and 11-year-old right now. And they're starting to see more stuff. They're starting to have more questions. And I'm having to address these things. And when I do the things that I told you I just did at that gas station, or when I take the kids out there to feed the homeless in downtown San Jose, or when I grab the clothes out of my closet in my dresser that I don't use anymore and some of the shoes and I put them in a bag and I grab my kids and I say, hey, we're going to go drop these off. Or when I buy somebody food, when we do these things, when I punish my kid for doing something bad and I tell him, hey, that allowance money, we're going to take that, we're going to go buy some food, we're going to package it up, and we're going to drive around town, and we're going to deliver this food to the homeless people. We're just going to drive around to all these little encampments and pass it out. That sounds crazy, but if you follow me, you remember when I did that. My youngest son got in trouble, and I had him take the money that he earned, and we went and bought a bunch of tacos, we bought some juices, and I had him package them up, and then we went around and we drove to all these little encampments, and I had him pass them out. Say, here you go, are you hungry? Here, God bless you. It was a lesson, and I'll tell you what, he felt great. Yeah, he got in trouble, but he did some service, and he felt great. I do all of these things because I want my kids to understand it's not just all the BS that I listed that they have to see all day. We can change that. Okay? And the people who want to sit there and complain and say, oh, you're trying to get clout or you're trying to get attention, these are the people that I'm talking about that are jaded by everything that's online. So they sit online and they complain and they talk shit to whoever's doing something good. But yet they're the ones on all these other posts cheering it on like, dang, that dude got whooped, or dang, that girl, look at her butt, or dang, look at this, or dang, look at that. Saying all these comments, but when they get to your video or your photo, they got some slick remark to say about you, clout chasing, or trying to get attention, or why you trying to show off in front of everybody. Why don't you just do that in silence? Damn all that. So when I talk to you about shut it or show it, show it. Don't be afraid to get out there and give back and help out. Because in case you didn't know, when you do that in your community, you are making your community that much better. And I don't know if you're a man of God like I am, but God's watching at all times. And when you do stuff like that, He's paying attention. So don't shut your mouth online. You stand up, be proud, and show it. All right? Don't stop doing what you're doing. Because all these cowards online, that's all they are. Just sit online all day with their keyboards and just have a bunch of negative stuff to say. Or they sit on their phones and all they do is got a bunch of negative stuff to say. I get it all the time. I tell you guys all the time. I get it in my DMs. I get it on my messages. I get it all the time. And I don't pay them no mind. Because I'm busy doing me. And if they don't like the way I'm doing me, they don't got to be on my page. So if anybody don't like the way you're doing you and how you're living your life and how you choose to make this world or your community a better place, they don't got to be there. They don't got to follow you. And I got news for you. Most of the people that make these comments, they don't even follow you on any of your platforms. They're just dudes who run through the internet and talk trash all day. Got it? That's all I got. I love you guys. Have a blessed day. Make sure to check out my website, raymolina.com. Follow me on Instagram. It's Ray Molina. That's also my TikTok. The Perfect Mess Pod is the Instagram for the podcast. If you'd like to donate, $, it's Ray Molina. That is not a requirement. Please subscribe, share, review, comment. I love you guys. Please, please have a blessed day. Take care of yourselves. And like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it's a mess. But for me, it is the perfect mess. Peace.
Perfect mess.